I do rewatch Doctor Who quite a lot. Oh, that's actually like touched my heart. I love that. Oh, I would have loved to have been a doctor's companion. That would have been flipping awesome.
This might be a treat for everybody. It's certainly got the Who Pets really excited. They've got so much to say. In fact, they've been kind of preparing, as you know, they're prepared the pitch and everything, and they do bookings and a lot. So let's tee it up now.
Mr. Brendan has surpassed himself. This is a stellar booking for the Sense Sphere chat show. It's a tough industry, showbiz. Ah, yes, I remember trying to book Tom Baker and no one would listen.
You discovered Tom Baker? This guest has played powerful parts.
Amazing.
Knows her Doctor Who.
Awesome.
After all, she has portrayed
Wowzers.
Verity Lambert herself.
Oh, wow. Bring it on.
He was brilliant as Verity in the Matt Smith's Hyde episode. Not bad on the eyes.
No, this is Jessica Caine.
Oh, so she's not an actress then?
Jess Caine, local government diva.
She doesn't look the usual type who does the bins.
One of her critics called her Westminster Barbie, so she's owning that title too. You may have seen her on GB News, Mike Graham, Talk TV.
Better than the last guest we had on, real Deadwood. Something tells me, Walkie, I need to hang around and watch her.
So, this is our formal welcome and red carpet treatment to the political pundit and activist, Jessica Caine.
That's so awesome. Oh my god, that was actually, I'm actually blushing. I love it. I actually love that. That was flipping awesome. I'll tell you that for free. That was amazing.
Well, you get that every time you come on here, right? That's it. You get the red carpet treatment. Yeah. So thanks to Boomer Doug, thanks to Garbage, Who AI, they do all those bits and bobs. So there's more to come, by the way. There's more treats, Jess.
Okay.
But good to see you, Jess. And you might have seen a little sneak peek there.
Wow, Missy, but me.
Missy, but you. I mean, we're going to be playing around a lot tonight. Obviously, there's a teaser, everybody. You may find Jess is talking about Missy a little bit tonight. And there you go. There's another version.
Oh my god, I love that.
I'll tell you what, you're going to get a load tonight. So obviously your normal preoccupation is politics, but today it's all Doctor Who. This is it. Because behind every politician, there's all them machinations going on. And we get the real deal here, don't we? And of course, it's escapism, isn't it, Jess?
Quite right. Oh, I love it. For me, I started watching Doctor Who. It's the first telly show I remember ever watching because I'm 26 next month. So when Christopher Eccleston came back in 2005, I must have been about 4 years old. I'm a September girl. And I remember watching that first episode, one of my first memories ever. And I was just like, Wow, this is so epic. And I was hooked ever since. So for me, the childhood magic and wonder, it's never gone away to this day.
We will be mentioning Rose and Rose a bit later. That's
Oh,
definitely on the cards. So here we go. So of course, she does also like Matt Smith. We might find that we discuss her favourite Doctor a bit later as well.
fezzes are cool.
Fezzes are very cool, and bow ties.
Yeah, I need one here.
And of
Oh,
course, yeah, you're a 70s girl as well. She seems to like a bit of Pertwee. So we just thought we'd doll you up in a bit of Joe Grant, if you don't mind.
I think that looks phenomenal.
I'll have to send
I
you all
need
these
them
pics.
go-go boots.
Well, who can turn that down? Honestly, that's the look, isn't it? That's a very Day of the Daleks, that one, wasn't it? Here we go. So it's great to have you join us. This is obviously Jess Caine, and hopefully, as I've teasing away there, I hope she comes back for more. If we and the Hoopettes look after her, and if she enjoys talking about all these great memories. There you go. That's the picture we sent you yesterday.
I love that photo. That is absolutely epic because I love Barbie as well. When someone called me Westminster Barbie, I think it was last year, I think they really meant to sort of call me a bimbo basically. And I was just like, do you know what? Yeah, I love it. So when you made this, or whoever made this and sent it to me, I just thought, I love it. It's amazing.
Boomer Doug, there you go. Boomer Doug, he's in Adelaide. There you go.
Thank you, Beamer Dog.
And so, right, we're here for Doctor Who. We've been teasing around, so we're going to start. And it all started, as you said, with Eccleston and Rose and that whole era. I mean, tell me now, Jess, was it the fact that it was this strange new Doctor Who program that you'd never maybe heard of before as a little kid? Or was it Rose? What was it?
I loved Rose. Rose is like me. She speaks normal. What I mean by that is she's quite working class. I'm working class as well. And I just saw, as a little girl, I saw so much of myself in her. She's cheeky, she's fiery, and she was traveling with the Doctor, and I just saw her as this amazing figure. I saw her as someone I wanted to be in the future. She was like my role girl, and I was just absolutely in love with her. And to be honest, I still have a little bit of a girl crush on her to this day. I love it when they've dropped names of her in episodes. I believe in the 11th Doctor, one of his episodes, they mentioned that he was going back to tutor 9-year-old Rose Tyler. And I was like, oh my God. And I think Peter Capaldi too, something similar. And it was just those little Easter egg nuggets. And I was like, I'm eating this up. I love it. I love her. But she definitely was a big factor as to why I got so hooked on the show.
So when you think we had Rose, we had Martha, we've been through Donna Noble and the Ponds and everybody. But what was there more to Rose? That you've said a lot already. Was there more to Rose where you thought, that's me, that really, or the way she acted? What was it?
Well, I saw a lot of myself in her background, but not only that, she was brave, and she became more brave with the Doctor, and you really saw her take this tactical role. I read a lot of the Doctor Who books when I was a little girl. So I remember that she had an abusive boyfriend called Jimmy Stone who used to beat her about before she got with Mickey. This is from a book I read, or a comic, I can't remember. And she didn't do very well in school, and she just thought she was only good to work in a shop, and she just thought, oh, I'm never going to be anything, I'm just useless. And then she started traveling with the Doctor, and she became this awesome woman who had a gun, and she was part of Torchwood, and she was just phenomenal. And I saw her and I thought, wow, I was just obsessed and hooked on her from the start.
Look, you've cast that pop star. It's phenomenal.
Billy, would you ever return to the show if...
I've returned a bunch of times.
Oh, Cassandra, I love that episode, Bitchy Trampoline.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And I think it's when I realized Doctor Who was back for me, I thought, oh, I love the cheek. I love the humor. Only Doctor Who can do crazy monsters like this. I mean, it was so clever. You know, moisturize me, moisturize me. I mean, honestly, it's classic. But it was also a really good episode for Rose because he took her there, didn't he, to show her all these monsters and to say, you've got to treat everybody and, you know, breathe on me, you know, all the different politeness and manners and all that stuff. And she was kind of a bit shaken for a second, wasn't she?
But then she adapted, right? And you could really see the difference between her and Cassandra when Cassandra possessed Rose's body. And that was how the Doctor was able to tell that Cassandra had taken her over, because Rose, although she was like, what the hell is happening here? Deep down, she had this kind and accepting heart and had an open mind to everything that the Doctor was showing her. So it really showed for me the strength of her character.
Do you know what? I'll be intrigued because obviously you were a little girl watching this, so I can understand the role model stuff and everything, but she treated Mickey really badly, I thought. I mean, when you watch it now, don't you think, God, that poor Mickey?
Yeah, to be fair, so I do rewatch Doctor Who quite a lot. And yeah, at first, when I was younger, I was just like, who is this guy? You know, whatever. And yeah, she doesn't treat Mickey very well at all. Mickey. She, yeah, treats him like rubbish. And I'm not surprised when he chose to stay in Pete's world, because he realised that Rose was always going to be trailing after the Doctor because she was in love with him. And it was bad. She was so deeply in love with the Doctor and she had a boyfriend.
Yeah. I mean, it was awful. I mean, actually, the Doctor was disgraceful because you remember he said he opened the TARDIS door and said, "Do you want to come with me?" And I thought, she's with somebody, mate. That's really out of order. What's he doing there? He's teasing. He's like the man with the flash car, isn't he? He's just like, "How here?"
Well, I guess for him, he had just come out of the Time War, basically.
Yeah.
Well, as to what we know, because we still don't sort of know the sort of ins and outs there, right? But he had just sort of come out of the Time War. He was angry. He was hardened. He didn't particularly care about Mickey, to be fair, I don't think at first. Obviously, he wanted to help Mickey and save the Earth, but I don't think he'd sort of unlocked that human side again until Rose sort of teased it out of him a few episodes on. It reminds me of oh, I can't remember the episode, sorry, where it's called that where they go back to the Second World War and they meet Captain Jack Harkness.
Yes.
And they dance and are you my mummy and stuff like that. And I really sort of saw Rose tease that more human side out of Christopher Eccleston there as the Ninth Doctor.
Just stand outside.
Here, take these. You can keep K9 company.
Don't forget to leave the window open a crack.
What? He's metal.
Watching this, like you say, and you like the Rose character, and well done RTD, because we knock RTD sometimes, but RTD must have got it right, because he got all you little girls and boys out there thinking Rose was the access. So that seemed to work. But when you go through the years with Rose Tyler, did you actually think, was the romance with the Doctor the thing that you wanted?
Oh no, I loved the romance with Rose and the Doctor. I loved it. I wanted them to be together so bad, and I cried so much when she went back to Pete's world with the human Doctor. I know it was a happy ending for her because she's a human, but I don't know. I loved her so much that I was absolutely devastated. I mean, she is with the Doctor, so that's a great thing. But especially when you think about what's happened in more recent iterations with Donna and the new Rose and the after effects of Time Lord energy, it does make one wonder about the after effects of Bad Wolf's energy. You know, Rose Tyler went back to Pete's world with the doppelganger Doctor, but who's to say that Bad Wolf didn't change Rose forever and she's just, I don't know, immortal while everyone withers and dies around her. You know, she had the whole of the time vortex in her head for, I don't know, about half an hour or something.
Yeah, that was one hell of a snog. That was that was what the hell. I mean, I mean, I'm trying to imagine you about 5 years old going, what the hell is this? He's given a hell of a snog. That, I mean,
Yeah.
no bloke can deliver that.
My first kiss expectations were not hit.
Where's the vortex? I wear.
Yeah, come on.
If this message is activated, then it can only mean one thing. I'm dead or about to die any second with no chance of escape.
I looked into the TARDIS, and the TARDIS looked into me.
You looked into the time vortex, Rose. No one's meant to see that.
I am the bad wolf. I create myself. I take the words. I scatter them in time and space. A message to leave myself here.
You've got the entire vortex running through your head.
I can see the whole of time and space existence, and I divide them. Everything must come to dust. How can I let go of this? I bring life.
You can't control life and death.
But I can. The sun and the moon. The day and night. I can see everything. All that is. All that was. All that ever could be.
Now, you ended up seeing Rose very recently last year in the reality war. I've criticised that to death as just clickbait, a stunt that was never going to deliver. I didn't really like her having to do that because she was on Shooty's shoulders. So she looked like the She-Hulk.
I did not like that at all. I mean, it was just a huge dish of fan service served up to us on a plate. Now, I am the #1 Rose Tyler defender, but I just thought, what's going on here? What's going on? You know, this is actually kind of robbing us from her story a little bit. And in a way, it's kind of proving again that the Doctor Who franchise can't move on from iconic actors such as David Tennant or Billie Piper, so much so that they're having to bring them back to bring back fan interest. And I say this as someone who loves David Tennant and loves Billie Piper, and I would love to see both actors return to the franchise, but in a more realistic setting. I did not enjoy seeing Billy's head on a male body.
Leave the girl. It's the man I want.
And it just seemed rushed, and you know, everyone was like, well, what's happening? Is she the Doctor? Like, what's going on? And no one knew. And then Russell T Davies made that Instagram post where he was like, yeah, I don't know either. I just did it to troll all you guys. And I thought that was actually quite insulting to die-hard fans of Doctor Who. For me, I was annoyed because I was so excited for Russell T Davies to come back. I thought he is going to fix Doctor Who. He is going to put us back on the right track. He's going to sort out all of the issues that Chris Chibnall had sort of brought in. And I don't even know how, but he added to them, which is just crazy because he did such a great job writing Rose Tyler, such a great job writing Martha Jones, and a phenomenal job writing the outstanding Donna Noble. So I was just shocked. You know, I couldn't believe what was going on here. And Ruby, by the way, I thought seems like a cheap imitation of Rose Tyler. I loved the character of Ruby, but she was very similar to Rose.
Yeah, I know. There was so many things. I mean, you see, I think Russell T Davies, I think he said it somewhere, for all your generation who started with New Who, it was as if Rose Tyler coming back as Bad Wolf or whatever she comes back in that TARDIS shot is a kind of, it's to bookend it for you because he thought that would please you. And as you're saying, that you can love Doctor Who and you can love Rose Tyler, you can love David Tennant, but you didn't want it done that way. So he made an absolute cock up, wasn't it?
I completely agree, because it then raises more questions. So who is she? If she's returning as the bad wolf, then what's actually happening here? I mean, to be fair, where he's left it so open, I do think a particularly skillful writer who assesses the situation holistically instead of rushing into it could potentially use the bad wolf idea as a good way to sort of fix the series, because Bad Wolf, as we know, has this incredible power that she can just destroy and create at will. You know, in the Empire of the Wolf comic, she was Empress of the Universe. So there is sort of freedom of movement for a potential writer to come in and use that to fix the franchise potentially, but who knows if that would actually happen. I doubt it would. All these amazing fan theories never seem to sort of come to the surface.
No, and it's like, is she Bad Wolf? Is it the TARDIS doing something? Is she the moment coming back? You know, from the. It's like, oh look, if you loved Rose Tyler, you want Rose Tyler the girl. You don't want her to be something else. You see, I wasn't even into the 50th when she came back as the moment. Because I just thought, okay, you've got Billie Piper back. It is Billie Piper, but it's not Rose Tyler. So it's not Rose Tyler.
So I loved seeing her in the 50th, but what I didn't like was that she only interacted, or there was only sort of moments of tensions between her and David Tennant. When, hold on a minute, Matt Smith is right there. He's the exact same person, just like 1,000 years on. Where's this sort of continuity here? There's no sort of moments of tension happening with Matt Smith. That annoyed me, first of all, as a young girl. I was like, hold on a minute, what's happening here? Because I was like 14, 15 when this came out, teenage girl with my Dr. Rose fantasy. I was like, what's going on? This is not okay. Secondly, I didn't like that she was the moment. I kind of sort of got it because of the, you know, Bad Wolf, I create myself. And in a way, going back to what I said earlier, I did always think to myself, if Rose Tyler, the girl, always had Bad Wolf just lingering there, she had the whole of the time vortex in her head for 30 minutes. So to be honest, I don't find that too disbelievable. But then it's never really been sort of explored or written or anything like that. It just seemed quite sloppy how they handled it. I think if they wanted to bring Rose Tyler back as Bad Wolf for the 50th, they could have, if they had written it better. But they didn't, and it was sloppy, and it was fan service, again, served up to us on a hot plate. And I don't think fans my age were lapping it up as much as people thought they would, you know, because I think they thought fans my age, they loved Clara and 11 and Rose and 10. And to be honest, yeah, I did like Clara and 11 too. But you can't just bring back Rose Tyler and sort of, you know, there needs to be some actual storyline here. Otherwise, people are just like, what's going on? You know, we just get annoyed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's funny because a lot of people have said to me, do you know what? New Who never delivered a historical character like Leela or Victoria or anything, or Jamie. Just never did anything like that.
Well, I got so excited when we met Clara because at first she was inside a Dalek. So I was captivated. I thought, oh my goodness, Oswald, you are flipping incredible. I love you. And then it was so sad when it turned out that she had been turned into a Dalek. And the mystery was really capturing when we saw her in the Victorian Christmas special. Yes, with Matt Smith. And again, I thought, wow, incredible. And they should have used that Clara as the companion, in my opinion, because she actually seemed a bit more likable as well than the modern day Clara. I liked the modern day Clara, but I loved Victorian Clara. She was so different.
Why are you talking like an idiot?
I'm a caretaker. Clara.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Here's a little taster, Jess, of the early. You might have a few little memories here. Here we go.
Do you want to come with me? You're going to see all sorts of things. A trip of a lifetime.
Doctor Who, Saturdays at 7.
You're the most remarkable man. Don't you think she looks tired?
Sack Russell T Davies, sack Jane Tranter, sack Phil Collinson, sack Julie Gardner, and I'll come back. Just don't like being associated with those people and the politics that went on in the first series. The first series.
Russell T Davies.
I know you want Chris Eccleston at your birthday party and Christmases, don't you? He's cheerful.
He is so funny. Sorry, that guy is flipping hilarious. I love him. Did he come back for a Big Finish audio?
I think he has, yes. I think he has,
Yeah,
yeah.
awesome. He is the GOAT for that. I really do love Christopher Eccleston. He just makes me laugh so much.
So when you saw that package, that was mostly the first year, but I'm intrigued because I knew I'd been telling the kids at school. I was teaching in Sutton Coldfield. I was telling all the 11-year-olds because I thought I'd get the younger ones. I said, try Doctor Who this Saturday. Just give it a go. I said, you might just find it's a great program. And loads of them stuck with it. But you were younger. So that first year when you were seeing the Slitheen, the Dalek and all the rest of it, what was it that grabbed you personally out of the monsters?
The Slitheen. Oh my goodness, I was so scared of them. But then I was looking like through my fingers like this. I remember I wasn't actually allowed to watch Doctor Who because it was too scary. But I remember my mum was watching it and I was sort of creeping behind the door watching it. And I was so scared that I could not look through my fingers properly. But I loved it. The Slitheen, they were just awesome. And then also I liked that they came back. Well, the Mayor of Wales, I forgot her name.
Yeah, Margaret Slitheen, wasn't it? Little Margaret.
And then she got turned into an egg. And I really remember vividly watching that as a child. It's a really early childhood memory of me. And I remember being terrified, but I just loved it. And I loved that she became an egg again because she got to sort of have another go. And for me, I really liked it because some of the monsters have some redemptions, definitely. And you could see that there when she became an egg.
Now, the climax was obviously the Daleks. So, you know, I was brought up with the Daleks, and actually they're the ones that scared me when I was 4.
Exterminate! Exterminate!
When you saw the Daleks, did it have the same effect?
So yes, that episode, is it called Dalek? The one where, yes.
Yeah.
And I remember Rose touching the Dalek and he just sort of powered back on. But for me, I remember because they were torturing the Dalek at first, so I felt sorry for it. And I didn't understand what was going on. I was so confused, what's happening? And then all of a sudden the Dalek becomes evil. And I was so confused. I was only like 4 years old when I was watching it for the first time. So I was like, hold on a minute. But fair enough, he's become evil and he's going to kill everyone. Why not? And I remember the Dalek showed mercy to Rose. So I feel like for me, the Daleks actually never fully scared me that much because I'd seen that sort of justification for that one singular Dalek. And I felt sorry for him because he was one of the only Daleks to escape the Time War. And I was like, oh, and I remember thinking, oh, the Doctor's being really mean this episode. But obviously I was super young and I didn't know the whole lore of old Who or classic Who, and I didn't know what was coming in the future. But yeah, for me, the Daleks have never really scared me and I've always had a bit of a soft spot for them. I love Daleks, actually. I would love to have like a little pink Dalek. I think that'd be really cute.
Now, of course, we've enjoyed talking about Rose Tyler, and we've talked about the bit of the first season which got you into Doctor Who. But of course, politics appears, and there was another Rose. I thought you told me a lot of things the other day. So what I've done is I've just compiled a little package, and we'll just tick out little bits because it will remind you of where we really do stand now.
And you know nothing?
It's a shame you're not a woman anymore.
Something a male presenting Time Lord will never understand.
Just let it go.
Henry, get away from him. Them. I'm them.
You're assuming he as a pronoun.
Weaponizing lies. You are exhausting. It's the first time I've had this black body. Some parts of the earth are now treated differently. Yeah. In Africa, I'm accepted.
Treat you like one of their own.
I actually liked that episode.
Duck and Bubble.
That was the only episode that I liked, actually. I have rewatched that episode the most out of that season. I loved it. Even though I thought it was a little bit woke, I really liked that episode, surprisingly. I thought the writing was actually quite good. Somehow he's gone to this racist planet or whatever. And I didn't even realise at first until the sort of end. And that sort of shocks me a little bit. I did think the whole premise of it was clearly a bit of a woke exercise, to be honest, which I wasn't fully engaged with. But I thought the writing of the episode was pretty good, actually. And I liked that monster, and I wanted to know more about the monster, and I wanted to know more about what happened to the teenagers, because all the adults died on their home world. So did they all get killed? Or, you know, I was a bit disappointed that they didn't make it into a two-part episode, actually.
I didn't understand. Well, I wish they did more cliffhangers, but I didn't understand why the Doctor, okay, he's now in his black iteration. Why did he offer that olive branch to them at the end when they were so vile? I didn't get it. I mean, he didn't have to be nasty, I know, but he was offering more than that. He was actually saying, you're very nasty people. I'm going to help you colonize an innocent planet. And I didn't get that bit.
No, I didn't get that either. I thought, I don't know, he could do something to help them on the planet that they are on now, or sort of find out more information about the monsters that were killing them, and, you know, why they were killing them, and what the sort of situation was going on here. But, oh yeah, no, I'll take you to another planet to colonize. And I don't know, I was a bit like, what are you doing, mate? You're supposed to be like this mega genius. And that was, I don't know, quite dumb in my opinion.
So the other Rose Noble, well, the other Rose we had was Rose Noble. And I didn't, do you know what? I've not got skin in the game. I don't want to go down a trans road or anything. I was just innocently watching Star Beast. And there was that bit about dead naming. And I was looking around to Jamie and I was going, dead naming? What the hell? I mean, I've been a teacher for 30 years and I'm going, what's dead naming? And I've had trans kids in my school, you know, or whatever, you know, and we haven't had. So this bit, and then of course, when she was given a job at, she's 15 and she was given a job at UNIT.
UNIT? Yeah, what's going on? Oh, come on.
Shoplifting. Nobody bothers about shoplifting, clearly. So, I mean, I didn't know what was going on. So, yeah, the female presenting Time Lord, you did mention to me.
So, I was not a fan of Rose Noble's story, to be honest, and it's not because she is transgender. I just thought it was really cringe. Oh yeah, that really, honestly, I was cringing so much. It was so embarrassing to watch. I was like, for goodness sake, what? Because they were saying this ridiculous stuff about the Doctor could never understand because he's a man. Well, hold on a minute. 2 minutes ago, he was a flipping woman. So I don't know what you're talking about, love. And oh, through the power of girl magic, we're gonna save this. Oh, hold on. I thought Rose Tyler was non-binary or whatever. I couldn't. I was so confused. I was like, this is a really confusing storyline that most people are going to switch off from. And I do think it took away from the fact we had the awesome Donna Noble and the awesome 14th Doctor on our screens, because I was like, what's going on here? And also the that little cute evil boss thing, I can't remember what he was called.
Beat the Meep.
The Meep, he was so cute and I loved him. So the promotions for this, I was going crazy. I was like, wow, this is going to be the most awesome episode ever. And it just became a load of woke nonsense. And I literally, I had to pause the episode and turn to my friend, and I was just like, "Mate, I need 5 minutes before we can watch this again." Like, he had to go and get me like a glass of wine for me to have, basically, because I was like, "I can't watch this sober. This is just." I was like cringing so bad. It looked bad. It was really bad writing, and I don't know who it was inspiring because it didn't inspire me. What the hell is going on?
Little car.
We've got to save the meat.
Yeah, I mean, okay, here we go. Female, empowerment and all the rest of it. But I don't mind the female empowerment stuff if you don't diminish the man at the same time. And they were reducing David Tennant because they're staring at him going, we know more than you. We're better
He's
than you.
literally the doctor. He's literally the doctor. Like, shut up, girls. Please.
Yeah.
Your power comes from the fact Donna touched his hand. Wow. And do you know what I mean? I think it's really cool, the whole Dr. Donna concept. And I loved it in series 4 when she became the Dr. Donna. But this Dr. Donna that we see now, I don't know. I was just like, what the hell is going on here? And, she's not really done anything with the Dr. Donna now. She's just been cured so she can keep her memories. Oh, wow. Hunky dory. And then Rose Noble, she's been, given a job at UNIT at, 15 years old? Come on, girl. Go back to school. Do your GCSEs.
I thought the rules were you had to stay at college till 18. I thought that was the rule. Suddenly the rules are different. And then that child genius, remember the other kid on the little Segway?
Yeah.
What was it? I was wanting Vlinks to do more. He looked like some sort of metallic DJ. I thought something was going to happen with that, but nah.
Well, I don't know. I do think trying to engage a younger audience maybe is why they're promoting these younger characters, but it needs to be done realistically. I think the magic with Rose at 19 was she was super young, but she was in a position where she was independent, and all of her badass super power-ups or whatever, they were all totally realistic. It was all about bravery and fortitude, and you saw that with Amy Pond as well. She was just this amazing figure who was just really brave, and that was where a lot of her power came from. And even with River Song, I love River Song so much. She is just a diva, and a lot of her, she loses all of her reincarnations, but she's still this incredibly awesome, strong woman who doesn't overshadow the Doctor.
Well, the one woman you told me about the most was Missy. And I'm hoping the video works this time. But what we'll do is we'll show you this is Missy, and we'll hear more from Jess about why she brought Missy up. Here we go.
Welcome to the sisterhood.
Missy.
My name is Jess.
Nice to meet you, Jess. Run for your life!
How's that?
Oh my god, that was flipping awesome.
Now that's Garbage Who AI. That's Garbage Who AI. He's got his own channel.
Garbage Who, I flipping love. That was awesome. That was actually that was incredible. Oh my god.
We were talking about it last night because I was at the football match when you were giving me voice notes, and I said she it was going through your list of your likes and preferences. So we were thinking, let's make her regenerate into Missy. And so that's what
Do you know what? I love that. I do really love the Barbie. that was because I love Missy so much, and when she died, oh, I was devastated. Now that was, oh, that's actually like touched my heart. I love that. Oh, I would have loved to have been a doctor's companion. That would have been flipping awesome.
That was our dream. That was all our dreams. It was funny when actually, it was funny because RTD, I think he said that when he was a little kid, he always wanted to be I was a bit, he said he always wanted to be the companion. Well, there were mostly women. And I thought, well, I never did that. But I wanted just to be in the TARDIS. I didn't know companion wise, there weren't many fellas really at that point. So it was like, so we come to Missy. I'll come to David Tennant in a minute, but honestly, Missy, what is it about Missy, Jess?
Oh, I love her. Well, I love John Sim as well.
Yeah.
So John Sim was the first master that I ever watched, and I remember being totally entranced by him and devastated when he died in series 3 of New Who after Lucy killed him. And I remember being really angry at Lucy at the time because I was only little. I was like, why, maybe something could have worked out, whatever. Oh, I was so annoyed. And then you sort of have him come back again, and then whatever. Then the master we think is, oh, kaput, finito. And then we come to, oh, I love Missy so much. And I was like, who is this badass woman, so evil, so cold, so sexy? I had such like a girl crush on her. I was like, this woman is a flipping diva. And she had like this miniaturizer thing, and she was just terrorizing everyone, but she was just totally awesome. I ended up loving her way more than I loved John Sim, which I thought was impossible. But I loved the premise that she was a woman, actually, because you could understand why Missy could be a woman, because the master, well, he experiments so much. He became that, I don't know what happened to him when he was sort of revived, and he had those crazy skull eyes and flashing, I don't know if that was like Time Lord energy coming out of his hands, and he was, sort of superhuman going across the earth. So he does sort of get up to random tricks that it was totally believable for the master to become a woman, because I don't know, he's probably experimented on himself or something and ended up as a female.
He's now a gold tooth. I mean,
yeah,
he's not so hot now.
No, unfortunately not. But Missy for me was a totally believable badass female character, because she kind of had a little bit of that. Yeah, and I loved her chemistry with Peter Capaldi. And I think I was only like 14, 15 when this series came out. And I remember I I wanted them to get together for some reason. I was like, they just seemed like yin and yang. I was like, wow, they're super awesome together. And we also saw that evolution of Missy. It was really believable because it was slow. And I thought this was fantastic writing, actually, because she really did change. And what broke my heart, and I think what broke so many other young Whovians' hearts, and potentially older Whovians too, was she changed and the Doctor never knew.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
And those fans out there who say anything after Peter Capaldi, I'm not putting up with, and they think that's where the line is. But actually, when you watch those 2 episodes, not the one where he met the first Doctor, but when he dies with the Cybermen, the Master dies, Missy dies, the Doctor dies, Billy Potts. I mean, she turns into I think they should have kept her a Cyberman. It was so dramatic. There was that bleak landscape. I thought, this is the death of Doctor Who. The whole program looks dead, and for a while, maybe they should have left it like that. It was so dramatic.
I loved that episode, actually, or that 2-part episode. I thought, wow. And yeah, because Doctor Who sometimes is quite bleak. I mean, it was nice for Bill Potts to turn into a puddle and go off with her
A wet
puddle
blanket.
girlfriend. But I did quite like that. Well, I didn't like the idea of her being dead, but it really sort of shook me. And I was like, oh my God, because she had such a sad life, and then she just died. And I thought, oh, that was really horrible. And it kind of reminded me of oh, I can't, this is classic Who now. He
Adric.
yes, when he dies, and oh my god, I love how you knew that. And I just burst into tears crying, and it broke my heart. It broke my heart. So I thought the whole thing with Bill Potts was going to be like that.
That's it! Now I'll never know if I was right.
I must save Adric!
Adric!
It was interesting because obviously I was about what, was I about 12 or 13 when Adric kaput. And actually, do you know what? It didn't have much of an effect on me. I was like,
what?
No, honestly, I think it's because I wasn't really liking Adric as a character. So basically, you go, yeah, whatever. I can drop it easy. You know, it's like, whatever. And of course, when they did the no sound at the end, I know that's supposed to be dramatic. I was just thinking, I was audio recording every program of Doctor Who. And I was thinking, well, this is going to be a rubbish recording. So it wasn't very...
But for me, I was crying my eyes out. I was like, no!
I think Matthew Waterhouse was as well. But, oh, no, when you saw Bill Potts with the hole in her chest, and then when you saw the pain, I mean, I'm sorry.
That was cold. And they should have left it there, because that was heartbreaking. Oh my God, that was so devastating. I honestly, I was like, that's it, I'm done. But you know, when you're just like, this is so dramatic, and you come back for more. But then, yeah, exactly, the sort of premise of it gets taken away, because in that same episode, she gets turned into a puddle, you know.
I mean, can you imagine being, what, 4 or 5 again, Doctor Who's on, and your parents are there, and it's that episode where there's a hole in the chest?
Oh my God. Well, I wouldn't feel allowed to watch it. But I would have watched it anyway. And yeah, I would have been crying my eyes out, bawling, because it does really emotionally connect with you, right? When you have these dramatic deaths. And I do think Doctor Who does have a talent for a dramatic death. And if Doctor Who does finally get a hold of itself and revive, then maybe we should return to these dramatic deaths of companions, because we're all right using expendable companions who sort of go within 2 episodes, but it's these companions you sort of have for a longer period of time we don't ever really seem to kill off.
agony, man. Goodbye.
I think we might be onto something, and I think what we need to do is I'll just play the music first because we're going to ask Jess some questions as if she was a showrunner. So, Jess, well, you're telling us about this one already. I mean, you know, should it be dark? Should Doctor Who be dark? Because
100%.
you're saying there was a debate in your family about whether you should be watching Rose and the early ones then. But look how dark we're talking about the end of Capaldi. And really, you as a 4 or 5-year-old, no way.
I think Doctor Who should be dark. It's been dark pretty much the entirety of the show. I mean, when I was a little kid watching Doctor Who, it was always advertised to us in school as a super scary show, but it made us want to watch it. We wanted to watch it because we wanted to see what was happening. We wanted to see the monsters. And you can make it kids friendly because, to be honest, a lot of dark parts of Doctor Who I just didn't understand until many watches later. The Turn Left episode.
Oh yes,
I remember Bernard coming out. Wilf coming out. Is it?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, Wilf. Yeah.
Coming out, and he says it's happening again when and it's the concentration camp thing.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, what's happening? Like, I was like, I don't know, 10. What's happening again? You know, it just totally went over my head because I had no idea. And honestly, it took me many rewatches to be like, oh, and I love history. I love history. So I cannot believe I didn't get it for so long because obviously he was a soldier. I didn't get it. But some of these dark references, they will just go over kids' heads because they're just not thinking of it.
But we're still accessing it because there's a thrill there or something, like the spider on her back or the beetle on her back.
Quite right.
So for me, as a kid of 5, 6, I was watching Genesis of the Daleks with Davros. I mean, honestly, and it was very concentration camp, Second World War. And I loved it. I was like scared absolutely out of my head. 3 Daleks coming down a metal corridor and Davros but he's like a chess master. Whoa, you know. Full on.
He was awesome. I didn't start watching Classic Who until my late teenage years. Me and my boyfriend at the time, we both liked Doctor Who, and we rewatched Doctor Who, the new series of Doctor Who, so many times. And then we just said, screw it, let's go back and rewatch all of Classic Who, which, well, we couldn't watch all of the episodes because some of them have been lost, but I have watched every single episode of Classic Who at least once now because we just said, we're going to do it. And Davros, I remember being like, wow, because when I first met the Daleks, when I was like 4 or 5, I felt sorry for them because of Dalek with Rose. So the Daleks had kind of been humanized for me. Whereas when I've gone back to watch Classic Who, I'm like, oh my God, these guys are like crazy. Like they are like messed up in their head. Obviously, they just don't feel that emotion. And I did feel, you know, that thrill. And yeah, I did feel a bit, you know, I was glad I was watching it with my partner at the time, basically, because it was like, oh, okay, this guy is actually kind of scary. And his obsession with Sarah Jane Smith.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is really weird, but I love it.
Davros is never wrong about anything.
Who is this Davros?
Our greatest scientist. He's in charge of all research at the bunker.
Relative time.
Davros wishes all members of the elite scientific corps assembled in the main laboratory immediately.
Davros is coming. Your chief scientist. He is our supreme commander to tell us. Well, I shall be delighted to meet him. Stand up.
If I may have your attention. I have been experimenting with the Mark III project.
The Dalek.
Our machine is now equipped with a weapon for self-defense. You will be punished for this! You will obey only my commands. You heard my order. Obey! You must! You will obey me! Exterminate!
Davros, the evil genius who created the Daleks. Yes. Curious the tricks time plays on one, isn't it?
When the Dalek ship arrives, you will accompany us. Not a ship, not a prison that can hold me!
Bye-bye, Davros.
I mean, I know there was so much. I mean, I quite liked the Stolen Earth, you know, when you saw Donna Noble, Davros back. I mean, bringing all that together as an example. When Sarah recognized his voice, there was a lovely
Chills.
moment. Yeah, I mean, that was, whoa. So if you're the showrunner, we're going to go dark. What other changes would you make that definitely need to be done to revive this series, do you think?
I think that the Dark Doctor should be explored more because it brings some duality to his character. I loved it with Christopher Eccleston. He was rough around the edges at first, and then you saw him soften up. And then with David Tennant, after he loses Rose, he gradually goes down this darker path until the Time Lord victorious. And I remember being like, oh my goodness. And I really liked it actually, because well, it wasn't ever fully explored and fleshed out until really we get to Matt Smith, my favourite Doctor, and he is this bubbly, energetic kid. And I love it. I think this is quite an unpopular opinion, but I like the idea of having a young Doctor. And I liked that idea because I liked that Matt Smith was super energetic, fun, friendly, and then he wasn't. Then he had this underlying side to him that you did not want to mess with because he was scary. And I thought not only did that appeal to a new, younger audience, definitely would have drawn in the kids, but also an older audience because you do see this deeper side to the Doctor. And I feel like we've missed that since we've had Jodie and Nasuti as the Doctor. It's just been beige and bland. I like the Doctor when he's multifaceted, when you just see a dark, angry side to him. And I think you need a companion who actually challenges him. One companion, not four, by the way, because that is just overkill.
Yeah.
So for me, I think the Doctor himself should be darker. Like I really like episodes where he's explored as darker. Like I love the Valiard and I love the Dream Lord. So
Well,
for me,
let's.
yes.
I mean, here we go. I've been teasing everyone about the badass Doctor, so I might as well say, right. So, what is your opening gambit on this one? You want as the showrunner, are you saying the Valiard could be a way of solving things and pushing the story forward? What is it?
Well, I just think the Valiard is a way to sort of, I don't know if it could fix things, but it's a fantastic storyline where he wants to steal the rest of the Doctor's regenerations, right? And it does unsettle me as a watcher. I think it unsettles many people as a watcher because the Doctor isn't fighting this big alien, this big monster, or, you know, the Flux who wiped out all of the universe. No, the Doctor is fighting himself. And this is a really interesting character study, which could explore Gallifrey. It could explore this sort of courts there, because you don't really see that ever being explored in New Who, do you really? It's all in old classic Who. And I do think for me that would bring back a bit of the thrill because he's chillingly cold and he's evil. And it's intoxicating. You just want to watch it and you just want to eat it all up. And the only closest sort of replication I can sort of find in New Who really is the Dream Lord. And I ate that up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Wow, that was incredible. He must have based that loosely off the Valiard, surely, because it was just so good. But for me, I think it could potentially be a way to reboot the series through the Valiard. I did actually think at one point maybe Mrs. Flood was the Valiard. Obviously, she turned out to be the Rani. But what a disappointment that turned out to be as well.
Yes, there's a lot of stories about that. I've heard so many stories from behind the scenes regarding poor Anita Dobson waiting to find out what she was supposed to be playing. She was played a little bit like a fiddle, unfortunately, and I don't think that was fair. So we've lost Michael Jason, and I know he's a Time Lord, so to speak, the Valiard, but we've lost that brilliant voice. I mean, what a portrayal, and it is just a shame. And you know, sometimes when I see the First Doctor played by another person and another person, and I just think, oh, it's just... that I don't mind the actors, but it's not the same. They've died. I know what you mean, though. The Valiard could be something really cleverly done because...
I don't remember that.
How could you remember? These events are in your future.
There have been changes. That isn't what happened. Stick on the words. Misuse and even sound like mine.
Is this resort to excuses and subterfuge?
But the evidence is being distorted.
Preposterous! Absolutely preposterous! The idea the Matrix could lie. No.
Truth. No, this is total fabrication.
The truth, Doctor! You sent your companion down the cargo hold. I quote, can't you sense it, Mel? Evil?
So, hard, right. You're the showrunner now, Jess. You're the gaffer. So, hard reboot, soft reboot, retcon, blah, blah, blah. Where would you go with this one? Because hard reboot-wise, I'm thinking... I don't want to be watching Doctor Who when we get to Doctor 27. I feel as though it'll feel diminished. You know, it's not the same as being the second Doctor, you know, that sort of thing. And I just think maybe you just always have unnumbered Doctors and you separate the timeline a bit. Trouble is, lots of Doctor Who fans tell me off and say, no, I like to see the continuity. I like to see all this. Trouble is, the continuity is what's got us into a mess.
Well, quite right, especially now with more lore added. You know, we've got the fugitive Doctor, and you've got all these other iterations that we don't know. I would probably say I like the idea of knowing all the Doctors, but now that the story shifted and the lore has changed behind who the Doctor is and what the Doctor is and stuff, we have lost all sort of continuity there. We don't know what's going on with the Doctor. We don't know where he started. So I don't think it's that bad if that was to be changed, you know, and if we did have unnumbered Doctors, to be honest. So would you, if you were to have a hard reboot, would you start them from Doctor number 1 then?
I wouldn't. This is where I've got to make sure I don't get threats. No, I wouldn't do that to William Hartnell. I think what I've seen Star Trek do it. Nah. I think what you do is you just... So it's kind of a bit like 2005, but basically unnumbered Doctor. You don't know where they fit into the chain of events, and they just get on with the stories. Make him very alien. Make the TARDIS a death trap. It's very hard. It was hard to navigate in the 60s. So why is it now suddenly you can land it on a motorway next to a taxi, with a full orchestra playing? How would you do that? So no, there's all that nonsense going on. And I think make the TARDIS very unreliable, make the Doctor unreliable and unpredictable, and do it like that. And I like your idea, actually, of the Valiard. I dismissed it a bit in the past, but I think the Valiard is sizable enough in Doctor Who lore to change things and kick it up the backside as well.
I completely agree. I mean, we did see John Hurt come as the War Doctor, right? And he was a brand new Doctor who we had never met before. So it doesn't seem too out of the question for the Doctor to have an unknown iteration. I actually think that would be totally fine, because at this point we've got more Doctors crawling out the woodwork. And I do agree, if we had like a 27th Doctor, I think that would sound a bit ridiculous, wouldn't it? You know.
And I don't want the showrunner in the future to have a temptation to bring back 105-year-old David Tennant and to bring back all these kind of teeny-weeny doctors, bring the CBeebies doctors on board and have them all in a room. No, because that's what they'd be tempted to do. It's called a multi-doctor story, isn't it? You'll never get 3 doctors again.
They might not harm him. You said we were only here by mistake.
I'm the one they're after. I'm sure I can persuade our host to send you back. Time, come on, get on.
That was a bit of a waste of time. Here we are, Brigadier. Have a try with that.
Corporal Palmer, come in, Palmer. Palmer, I want every man to maintain vigilance, but no further offensive action. Is that clear?
Well, any progress?
No, none at all. And you? What about our fellow Time Lords?
Getting steadily weaker.
We can't help you, I'm afraid.
Oh, yes, you could. Well, first turn off your force field.
But I don't...
Off, I said. Oh, use your intelligence.
Who in the name of heaven was that?
I'm afraid you'd never believe me.
Yes, but our bodies have been converted, processed in some way, so that we can exist. Really? But things aren't always as they seem, you know, Dr. Tyler. What do you want? Or is it a scientific conjuring trick of a very high order? But you're not going to turn off the force field?
Yes, I think so. And I've always had a great respect for his advice.
Doctor, if you switch the force field off, that thing out there can get at the TARDIS.
Precisely. Hold tight, everyone.
I agree. I think I would like to see a different period of the Doctor explored. Do you know what I would like to see? I would like to see the Time War. Or I would even like to see a different sort of universe. We already know that there are multiple universes. You know, we went to Pete's world, for instance. What's there to say there's not another universe after the 8th Doctor or something where things diverge totally? Or, you know, the Time War. There's so many interesting situations that could have happened there. What if the Time War ended totally differently and the Time Lords won? Or what if it was still continuing and instead of the Doctor, you know, unleashing the moment and killing everyone, he just got in his little box and ran away like a madman? Well, that sounds a bit more up my street personally. And then you could have the devastating effects of the Time War playing throughout the story, because this war that was raging above most life forms, they didn't know what was happening, but it was just devastating. So you could see that effect woven in through the story, and I think that would be quite useful and interesting. It would be a literary device.
Now, what about your showrunner? You've got to make big decisions here. You might split the room.
Okay.
Is the Doctor going to be gender fluid in the future,
No.
or will it be back to male?
No, male. Sorry, my Doctor is a male. because I loved the Rani. I thought the Rani was flipping epic. And she was a woman. She was not a male, she was a female. She was a female Time Lady. Or female Time Lord, if that's what the title is, whatever. I think she's a Time Lady. And that's it. I wouldn't want to see the Rani regenerate into the Rhino, the male version.
The Rhino.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to see that. And for me, I want the Doctor to be a male. I don't want him to be a female. If you want to have a female Time Lord, bring in the Rani. Or, even better, create a new Time Lord who is a female and give them an awesome character. For example, River Song. She was technically a Time Lady, even though, you know, some weird genetic whatever, she was awesome and she was a female, and when she was regenerating you never saw her change into a male. You know, this is just nonsense. I just want the Doctor to be the Doctor, a male, and yeah, introduce female Time Lords if you want.
Why do you think they've done this? I mean, I have my guesses, but why do you think they needed to do this? That the Doctor's always been established as a male character. And yes, we know our Doctor Who. You have Time Lords and Time Ladies. That was quite established. Romana was a really strong female character. And a lot of people said Lalla Ward's version, the Romana 2, was very like a Doctor in how she dressed and everything. I mean,
very quirky.
Yeah. I mean, so why did we need to blur the edges? Is it the obvious that we're all thinking, but don't normally like to say?
Well, I'll say it, wokeness. I have no fear, unfortunately. Look, I do think that Doctor Who as a show has always been pretty liberal with its storytelling, and I've never minded that. You know, I really liked the Captain Jack Harkness storylines, and even in Torchwood I thought it was fine, but it just got unbearable in the recent years of Doctor Who itself. And the whole, for me, Doctor Who was trying to appease the more vocal young side of the fan base, because most young Whovians I know are either like me and are in politics, so maybe a small minority, or they are super left wing, which is totally fine if they're left wing. I don't mind and I don't discriminate. But I have seen arguments on TikTok between Whovians where these big voices amongst young Whovians have really lashed out at anyone who doesn't like the whole gender fluid thing, and they've said some awful things, and I could see why people get scared off from the fandom because they're quite vicious, to be honest.
It is just a simple thing of saying we've watched the show and it's been kind of quite established that that's what they are. I mean, you wouldn't come up with the word Time Lord if they were gender fluid. And it's just, so it's an interesting one now because we're going to have new pictures out and invitations to tender for Doctor Who, and I'll be fascinated if whether the BBC just say it's a gender fluid Time Lord or whether they actually take a risk. That'll be interesting. That'll be a giveaway. But I suppose we should actually, as we are talking about Doctor Who, we should talk about your favourite. Lovely. I have to say, he's great in The Crown. He's great in House of the Dragon. He's great in... I remember when he did Christopher and His Kind. He's really good. He's really flexible to play... Well, he was young at the time, wasn't he? He was young, but he played it so old. And he was very quirky. Some people say he's the first neurodivergent Doctor, don't they? Because he was so out there.
All over the place. I loved him. I loved it. I've got ADHD. So I thought, oh my God, this guy's crazy. I love it. And oh gosh, he's the best. He's the best. I love this Doctor so much. Oh, I would do anything for him to come back. For I don't know, just like a special, if it was able to be written in there, you know, not just for fan service. But what I really loved with the magic of his character was that he was just all over the place, and he really appealed to a younger audience. Like, look, he's doing weird stuff. He's got a fez and he's got a bow tie and he's wearing this weird ensemble, which you know, some Doctors had a really cool ensemble. Like, look at Christopher Eccleston, he looked really cool. No, Matt Smith looked weird as hell, and I loved it. I was like, yeah, I want to get a bow tie. I don't care if I'm a woman. I did think that was... he really appealed to both genders because, well, I definitely had a crush on him when I was a kid, but, you know, I loved the whole fez thing. I loved the whole bow tie thing. And yeah, he just really appealed to me.
It's self-destruct, and you know what that means. My ship goes, you all go with it. One move and I'll destroy us all. You got that?
TARDIS, bang, bang, Daleks, boom!
Good boy.
His physical way of doing things was so great. Do you know, and look, it's a hard one, this, for me, because I like the puns, but I just wish the TARDIS crew and the Doctor weren't all looking the same age. That was the one thing for me. It's as if I'd love the puns to have been with a different Doctor.
I agree.
Because I wanted to focus more on Matt Smith, and obviously Amy Pond is a stunning woman in her own right, and she was feisty and everything, and there were lots of really great characters, and I just thought, this Doctor is knocking the socks off this show, and we need to watch him more.
I do feel like a lot of emphasis was on his companions.
Yeah.
Clara stole the show a little bit with her Impossible Girl storyline. To be honest, I don't really think I was the biggest fan of the Impossible Girl storyline personally,
No.
because for me, that kind of it felt like a cheap imitation of Bad Wolf, where Bad Wolf sort of saves the Doctor. Apart from the Impossible Girl goes back and saves every single iteration of the Doctor. Well, hold on a minute. This is the Doctor. He doesn't need you to save him. Sorry.
Well,
Go
do you know
on.
what, Jess? I'm going to say this, and please push back on me if you disagree. But I do start to think, what is going on here? Number one, New Who, it tends to be companion centric, i.e., female. I mean, we've just shifted the balance. It's supposed to be Doctor Who, almost question mark. Then you've got the Impossible Girl, where she's kind of woven into his whole history.
Oh,
And,
no, woke.
and she's the one saying,
Woke.
Doctor. So basically, this female's telling the Doctor because he's a prat. Then you've got the Timeless Children, where and so in the end you're going, and then the Fugitive Doctor is meant to be the first Doctor. So all of a sudden, what you've got is, I think those men should just go away and hibernate. I don't think we want it.
I completely agree. It was totally diminishing the achievements of all the Doctors that we've seen. For me, I found it a total insult, because I grew up and I loved the Doctor and I loved Matt Smith, and I thought, well, hold on a minute. Is Clara really, I'm the one who's got to save you because you're too useless to do it yourself? Well, hold on a minute. The Doctor is a flipping genius, and he's not only a genius because all Time Lords are really smart, he's one of the best, of the very best of the Time Lord species themselves. So what, it is too much emphasis on the companions. Don't get me wrong, I do like an explored storyline with companions. And I do have a great soft spot for Amy Pond and Rory, and I love the whole River Song stuff. I thought that was done really well. But you're right, we never saw a lot of stuff happening with Matt Smith, and we did see the Dark Doctor with him, but we didn't see too much character development. Whereas with David Tennant, we had that brooding character development. He progressively gets meaner and darker and colder and more twisted, and you get sucked in and drawn in, and you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? And with Matt Smith, you didn't really have that. And I did kind of hope that when the Ponds sort of left, sadly, I did think, he's going to shine. But his last, what was it, half a season was overshadowed a bit by Clara Oswald. And to be honest, I do like Clara as a companion, but I didn't like her when she was with Matt Smith because she overshadowed him.
Yeah. I mean, what's your when you look back, he's your favourite Doctor, so I'll ask you on this one because it's only fair, isn't it? Your favourite Matt Smith story for him, and the worst one?
I actually... So I loved The Dream Lord. I thought that was really interesting because it explored, again, what I perceived as a sort of Valiard. It seemed like the Dream Lord was a dark Doctor, basically, for me. So I thought that was quite an interesting character study. So I do like that one. And then I do like the episode, I can't remember what it's called, but it's Matt Smith and Clara, and they go to this world, and it's Mr. Clever, the cyber thing here. And I really do like that episode because, again, you see this sort of dark iteration, but it's so Clara-centric that I'm just like, for goodness sake, is Matt Smith just here to serve fan service for women because he's just there to be a pretty face, basically?
Yeah. Well, he started to be, you made the Doctor, he was a babysitter. Okay, it was like, and James Corden and the two little kids he had to babysit. I was like, what the hell is this? Please get him in the TARDIS, go to the planet Zog. I don't want to be going to doing the school run.
Yeah. I didn't like that episode as well, where they had the little boxes and and I was just like, for goodness sake, what's going on here? This is the Doctor, he needs to be off traversing the universe, doing something really cool and interesting and, saving the world at it, instead of just being sat there like a little dog, basically. He just became, and I love Matt Smith so much, I really do, but in some episodes he was just a pretty face to look at. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't complaining, but
No.
I was a bit like, come on, like, do something.
I mean, look at him in. I thought that. I'm trying to think back. I think the darkest I saw with Matt Smith, I might be wrong, everybody, was the Crimson Horror, when he, when he had that horrible stuff. She had a sugar factory, and she had that little.
Oh,
he went red, didn't he? And he was frozen. It was almost like the Mummy or something. It's like, oh my God, he's almost a prisoner, and he could hardly move his limbs. That was quite dark for me.
I liked that episode. That was a good episode. That was with Clara, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. And
yeah, Victorian.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. That was a good episode, actually, considering I wasn't the biggest fan with Clara at first. Well, yeah, but I don't know. I liked when he was his second season, when it was going up to build up of the wedding of River Song, and it was those couple of episodes before that, and he was sort of going on a bit of a rampage on a warpath, trying to find out what was going on with Amy and the baby, and then obviously it's continued on to that next series. Up to the wedding of River Song, and you do sort of see that dark, angry Doctor again, but it's all centered around his companions and around River, which, don't get me wrong, I love Amy, Rory and River, but come on, give me something about Matt Smith.
Well, you got him naked when he finished.
Yeah, fair enough. That was some good fan service.
I did not. It was a bit like when Tom Baker's doctor dies and he gets old in that episode, in Leisure, and I was thinking, oh no, don't make him old at the end. And when they made Matt Smith old, and I thought, oh no, don't do that to me. I don't want to see him as an old man.
No, I hated that. I heard that he insisted that he come back young to do a speech to Clara, and I was like, yeah, good on you, Matt, because I wouldn't want to die as this old version. You want to be that young version. But still, I thought his final episode for me, I mean, I did cry, but it didn't get me going like David Tennant's regeneration did. It did not get me going. Like, no, I did cry, but go on.
Do you know what, Jess? I used to use his speech in assemblies.
What, Matt Smith's one? It's a good speech. It's a good. Who's coming? The Doctor's coming.
Yeah, and that horrible. It's horrible about life that it's like your breath on the glass for a minute.
Yes. Oh no, that is cold.
And
that
is cold. And that lovely moment. I mean, everybody goes through it in families with deaths and that. And when the person's very old, if they're lucky, and you go, you were a dad, you were a brother, you were a son, you were this, and some jobs, and you list all the people there were. And I just thought, what a brilliant, I just loved it. And it was a really well done speech. And then Stephen Moffat, obviously, plaudits. The first face this face saw.
Yeah, I love that. I flipping love that. But what ruins it is how quickly he regenerates into Peter Capaldi. That ruined everything for me. I was like, I was crying throughout his speech, and then bam, when David Tennant regenerates, you have this Vale di Sam, that song by Murray Gold, and you have this long, oh my God, you are crying your eyes out as he regenerates, and it's slow, and he looks so sad, and it is a lonely, sad process, and oh my God, I sob like a baby every time I see it. And Matt Smith, that speech was phenomenal, and then it's just, I'm Peter Capaldi now. And I'm like, you have just killed everything.
Well, the thing is, he was like bloody Cher doing a final bloody tour. He went on and on and on. It's like, I'm just going to go and see. I'm just going to die, will you?
No, I loved it.
But then he kept saying, I don't want to go. I thought, I think that's
Oh.
clear. I think you've made that clear.
Oh no, that for me, honestly, every time I've rewatched that episode too many times to count, every time bawling like a baby. But yes, I quite like a sad, dramatic regeneration. I'm a big girl's blouse like that.
I don't want to go. Right. So you did say something interesting, folks, because a lot of my followers know I'm a bit funny about McCoy. I like McCoy as a person. I've met him a few times. He's a lovely chap. But you made a comparison between your favourite Matt Smith and good old little Sylvester, didn't you? You started saying you see similarities.
Yeah, I do, because you do see that same sort of happy-go-lucky side, in my opinion, to be honest, because he's dressed like a weirdo. He's dressed like a weirdo. He looks harmless. And then as the story goes on, he starts doing this crazy stuff, right? And he's strategically thinking of all these dark plots. And I'm just like, oh my God, what happened to this weird guy that I met on his first episode? What's going on here? Because he's playing like 4D chess, and he's plotting everything, and he's the puppet master. He's got his strings going, and he's always got a plan, and he's so smart. He's already worked out the outcome, and for me that was really just the Doctor for me.
What are you doing here?
You have to.
Faster than the second hand on a watch.
You have to move faster than that if you want to keep up with me. We're not even moving yet. Hardly cruising speed. I don't exist anymore.
What can you see?
Undercurrents. Bringing things to the surface. I can't stay.
You promised.
I'm here.
You don't believe.
Evil needs a body. He hasn't found one yet.
It's not true. You don't believe it.
I believe in good. No! No! No!
What's he doing?
Don't touch him! Don't touch anything!
The time is now. The chains of Fenric are shattered. The gods have lost the final battle.
We play the contest again. Time Lord.
I really like, and I love Ace as well. I love Ace so much.
Yeah, good old Sophie. So Sophie, it's just a question that everybody's asking. Are you the sauce?
HP or tomato?
Good question. Well, everybody seems to say Ace was the forerunner to Rose, don't they? They say that's where the idea came from, really.
Well, yeah, I agree. I do see a lot of Rose in Ace, and I loved Ace when I watched her. I thought, who is this little bratty diva? I was just obsessed with her, and she was just crazy. And it felt like the Doctor was having to babysit her, basically. And I really did like that. To be honest, I know it was fan service, but I really did like that moment between them when Ace came back and you saw Sylvester come back to talk to her as well. That really got me going. I was like, oh my gosh, I love these guys.
It's never find blue stuff up. Sometimes, sadly, it's the only solution. I was only ever trying to teach you good habits, Ace.
You made me the person I am today.
All children leave home sooner or later. Joy is to watch them fly. Oh, we're more than good. We're Ace.
Yes, it was interesting because you saw Peter Davison with Tegan, and then you saw Ace, and it was, but that one was more powerful because I think the dialogue was just about she wanted forgiveness, didn't she? It was a real big moment because something had been going on with Big Finish or something, whatever, some story in between where they weren't talking or something. And I just thought, oh, what? Anyway, I only watched the TV, so I was thinking, I don't get this, but it looked powerful. And I loved the way he said, you were ace. And it was, I don't know, it was nice.
I liked it. And also, Sylvester, I thought was when he was going up against Davros, wasn't he? And he outsmarted Davros, and Davros was the original 4D chess player, right? He was always making all these big plots, and he was the puppet master. And then the Doctor outsmarts Davros with the Omega.
Oh yeah, yes, the hand of Omega.
Yes, and then he destroys himself. And I thought, oh, okay, well, the Doctor has just outsmarted Davros, who's supposed to be this, super smart person, right?
I know it was. I don't know. Yes, I'm a funny one with that remembrance of the Daleks, but I know what you mean. He was the big Machiavellian. He was doing everything like that. But I somehow, do you know what, Jess? I don't like it when the Doctor's always 4 steps ahead.
Oh, really? Oh, no, I like it.
Do you? Oh, you see, I like it when he's kind of going, what the hell's going on? You know, when he actually doesn't know in part 1 of Classic Who, where am I? Why am I getting told off and blamed for all these murders? I love that. Whereas I know what you're saying. You're saying Sylvester McCoy sits back going, I've plotted this. I'm picking up this coffin. Then I'm going over there. Then I'm doing this. And I'm taking you to this castle, Ace, because I'm going to screw with your brain. There you go. Yeah.
Well, that's what he does with Ace, isn't it? Because he's like a million steps ahead, and he destroys Ace's faith in him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Because what's his face? Fenric.
Yes.
Fenric is.
You do it,
yeah. I can't believe I remembered that. Fenric is exploiting that faith, and that reminds me of the episode with Amy and the 11th Doctor, the God one, where they're in the hotel, the God complex, and Amy and the Doctor needs to destroy Amy's faith, and it's a similar storyline, right?
Yeah,
and that's a really good comparison there. Sorry, I sort of like got overexcited with my
This is it, Doctor Who fans. We need to get that. I know. Well, you remember it. It's good, isn't it, when you remember a name? It almost makes it. Yes, I'm real. I'm real.
I'm remembering something.
Oh well, I mean, there's so much. This is obviously your thing. Now, you mentioned this earlier, and of course, when I had Mark Littlewood on, he was talking about Weetabix bloody cardboard. He was talking about Doctor Who magazine. Now, in your case, you said Empire of the Wolf, Brendan. That was a big thing for you.
Okay, as I said earlier, well, I love Rose Tyler, and I always thought if she had the time vortex in her head for that long, something must have, she's just not a normal human. So I thought it was really interesting when I read this comic years ago now, Empire of the Wolf, and I can't remember what exactly happens from the top of my head, but she's like this sexy, badass empress of the universe, and the 8th Doctor, who I also love, I love the 8th Doctor, and the 11th Doctor, who obviously I love, are with Rose. And I was like, this is like my perfect sort of story going on here, because we see a dark Rose, really, of what happens to her when she's empress of the universe. And it is an interesting storyline, because what happens there is basically she is displaced from Pete's world after the 10th Doctor era. And obviously when the 8th Doctor meets her, it's before 9. So he's like, who is this female? But Matt Smith meets her and he's like, oh, wow. But there's 2 Roses there. So you've got Pete's Rose, and then you've also got Empress Rose, and it's just this awesome storyline which I was just obsessed with. And yeah, I really wish they would explore, well, I don't think you really could explore it in TV, sadly, but it was just such an awesome story that I read and loved as a kid that I wish more people would read and love too, because I feel like not a lot of people know about the Empress of the Wolf. I think I do have a copy of it somewhere in my room.
It's mad. It's mad because you get older Doctor Who fans, and we go on about the Target books, and we go on about even the illustrations in them. They used to have 1 or 2 illustrations, and that was our childhood. And of course, then there's all these. I mean, these, and I suppose we'd all talk about our annuals then. Whereas now you come and get these things, and there's there are some phenomenal ones. I agree. So that was Empire of the Wolf. You can see Rose is playing on Biggie. Now this is another little one. Now this is where we may have something in common. Now,
Mayday, it's engineering ship. Our position is
Sea devil!
Obeying orders.
You will obey my order, Chief Petty Officer.
You will obey me.
I must obey.
Don't be alarmed. I've no wish to harm you.
the Sea Devils. So you mentioned, I mean, there's me. I'm 30 years older than you, and I'm thinking, what? Sea Devils was my first proper story.
Yeah. Oh, was it?
Yeah.
No way.
And we live. I live near. Well, I live in Middlesbrough, and of course, Redcar's our local beach. And when Mum and Dad took us to the beach, I wouldn't go in the water because of
the sea devil.
I know. Whoa, vicious. So when you mentioned the Sea Devils, I thought, no way. So go on then. What's going on here?
Well, I was fascinated because obviously the Master is involved, and they are a race that came before humans and have been lying dormant, sleeping beneath the oceans. This is another story which I think has been sort of rehashed in New Who a little bit, if you sort of think of the reptilian people. And the Master sort of wants to exploit that, right? He says, we're the Sea Devils. We were here first. We went into hibernation. And hold on a minute, the humans have sort of just nicked the planet while we've been sleeping. And the Doctor doesn't see these Sea Devils as villains at first, because he's gone through this situation before, right? With
Silurians.
Yes. So he wants to talk to them. He's like, let's talk it out, let's chill. They can coexist, the Sea Devils and the humans. And he wants peace, which is so nice. And then the Master is obviously, exploiting and manipulating the whole situation. And yeah, then the humans start attacking the Sea Devils, isn't it? That's what happens. Yeah, they start beefing, and the Master is obviously manipulating the entire situation because he wants war between them. So the Doctor gets angry because he's angry at humans. He's angry at human arrogance because we've just sort of gone in and attacked the Sea Devils, right?
I know, but what's funny is, do you know what? You and your boyfriend, you said you went through Classic Who, and but you're older then, you know what I mean? You're the cool dudes type thing. And all of a sudden, when you're watching Classic Who, do you kind of go, oh, I can see how is scary, but it's just not. Or do you see, oh my God, it is scary? No. Or do you, when you see the Sea Devils, do you go, oh my God, really? Or do you go,
I was freaked out. No, I was freaked out when I saw it, because look at them. They just look creepy. Oh, I wouldn't want to wake up to, like, look how tall that is, because John Pertwee was flipping huge, wasn't he? He was a tall guy. So you're just like, oh my goodness, these creatures are really creepy looking. Imagine encountering one of those. You would run away screaming. Yeah, definitely when I was watching with my partner, it was really, really creepy. Definitely. But I liked it. I was 17, 18. So watching it, I was like, yeah, go on. I'm still kind of freaked out, but I'm loving it, and it really got me properly into it.
Fair dues. Well, there you go. Sea Devils are still cool. My God, those first 2 episodes with all the shadows and image and music,
it's creepy.
Yeah,
creepy.
I was breaking it. But you also mentioned when John Pertwee's third Doctor met Unit, and you talked about all that.
Hurry, Doctor.
Well, that didn't take long, did it?
Long enough, I'm afraid.
Now, wait a minute. Listen to me. Now, listen to me.
Here, wait! They're in the back, sir.
Are you all right, Doctor?
Thank heavens. Nothing damaged. Lethbridge Stewart must have sent them.
Then it's not a police car at all.
No, sir.
Doctor,
Careful.
where are they taking us?
Excuse me, officer. Could I see your warrant card?
Now that was so good. That was, I think that's very early on in his story, the First Doctor, right? So I was locked in, and this is when it became colour. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I was really intrigued, and was it his TARDIS broke down? Something happened, so he had to just hang out at the unit base, and he didn't want to really get involved. He was like, right, I've got to be on my way or whatever. And then the Brigadier is sort of, getting involved with it. And I loved the dynamic between those two. I just thought, these guys are just really flipping cool together.
What did you think years? I mean, you watch all Classic Who now. When you saw Mordrin Undead and you saw the Brigadier at a school later on, did that hit you? And when you saw him with Sylvester McCoy in Battlefield?
Definitely. I really did like to see him come back as a recurring character. And also, they mentioned him in New Who as well, didn't they? But he had died by that point or something. But because I hadn't watched that, like my first watch, I was like, who is this guy? But I really appreciate it after I'd actually gone back and watched Classic Who, because he must be the most recurring character, right? Because he just sort of came back and back and back.
Well, he used to say that I've been with every Doctor, so to speak. Even when the first one, he was another character. But Nicholas Courtney said that. Yeah, I mean, it's lovely, isn't it? I mean, there's me saying I want a hard reboot, but yes, you lose that hard continuity as well. But yeah, he was a great character. I agree. Unit, you see, to me, because I was only a little kid then when this was on, John Pertwee's voice, and he was like my third granddad. He relied on him. You knew he was not going to mess. He wasn't going to get emotionally caught. He wasn't going to cry. He was just going to be, he'll sort it out. And he'll tell you off. I loved him for that. So, that period, the voices and the noises, I'm thinking, oh, that's my happy place. So I'm trying to imagine you, if you sit back and watch an early Eccleston or an early David Tennant, and just the soundtrack just might feel like a comfort blanket.
Yes, it does. And this is really sad, but on my Spotify, I've got the Murray Gold playlist just saved, and I will just listen to it. And for me, it is like, it's like a comfort blanket. Like if I'm, I'll just put it on, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just going to listen to some Murray Gold right now, and it's going to make me feel better because that music, that is some of, honestly, I genuinely think that's some of the best music ever produced. Maybe I'm biased. I don't think I am, but yeah. But what I do find really funny about Doctor Who is at the start with Classic Who, I remember with John Pertwee, with the Master chasing after him, the special effects, they really get me because you have like this triangle coming up and it's like spinning, but it's so silly, but it's part of like, you're just like, whatever, you're like rolling with it, you don't care because it's just part of the story. But I love it's so charming, and for me it's just bad special effects are awesome when they're in Doctor Who. For me, basically, that is my childhood.
There's an element, isn't there, where all the Disney money and everything, and I know the BBC are trying to make it look as good as possible, but there's an element where you're killing Doctor Who every time you do that.
I don't mind the cheap productions. I mean, look at flipping Torchwood season 1. Oh my goodness. I was watching that the other day and I just, that is the worst CGI I've ever seen in my life. And I loved it. I was eating it up. I don't care. I don't think fans particularly mind if CGI is that bad. What we want is a good storyline. That's what we want as fans. You know, you can't keep relying on these fancy special effects because that is what Disney brought in the big bucks because Disney thought they were going to get the storytelling of previous Doctor Who's.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen. So, in a way, I'm really sad because I genuinely thought with Disney money and with some good storytelling, we were going to be on to something
Oh, yeah.
phenomenal here. And it's disappointing. It's really
No,
disappointing.
I was optimistic. I tend to be optimistic. I'm not cynical in that way, but it ended up playing out badly. But I mean, when you look back at 63 years of Doctor Who, right? What is your top story in New Who and your top story in Classic Who, just for you?
My top story in New Who, I think, has got to be Dalek. I loved the episode where, yeah, for me, the Daleks were humanized, and also you sort of saw this amazing dynamic between Rose and the Ninth Doctor because Rose refuses to move away from the shriveling and broken Dalek. And the Doctor says, well, I'm going to shoot through you. And she says, well, do it then. And he doesn't. And I thought that was really beautiful. And then you just see the Dalek is so cold. So he opens his case and you just see the sad, oh, it tugs on my heartstrings. So I flipping love Dalek. And for me, I really do like that unit. Well, it's more than one episode, right? Because I think it's what, 4 episodes, but I don't know. Back then, obviously, you had multi-episode stories going on way longer than New Who. But that unit story with John Pertwee, that first story, that totally hooked me with Classic Who. I did struggle a little bit with the first Doctor and the second Doctor because a lot of the episodes are missing. So I can't really connect with them the same way that I did from John Pertwee onwards. And I thought John Pertwee, yeah, he was just on it, right? I really liked that. And the other Classic Who story is the Omega one I like. I really like that one. And the Hand of Omega you told me earlier.
Oh, yes.
That is a flipping good story.
Remembrance of the Daleks, yes. So, right, okay then. I'm going to do a daft analogy here, but you'll get my point. If every Doctor was like an ex-boyfriend, right? You've said all your favourites, but you know there's one where you're going, well, he's all right. Who's the kind of the least favourite of the Doctors?
I think, and I really hate to say this because, well, do you mean like Doctors 1 through 7 because 8 didn't really have a go?
Yeah, 8 didn't get a go, did he?
Yeah, I can't really, because I like 8, but he didn't have a go, so I don't really like him very much. See, Seven, I think. I do like Seven, but I just feel like it just went on and on and on and on. And then when it ended, I was a bit like, well, what's happening here then? You know, it just sort of, and I did like him as a doctor, but I didn't really see the direction of what was happening. It kind of seems like they'd kind of run out of juice by then.
Axed too early. You know, the master plan ended too early.
Yeah.
Now, just to finish off with little things, Sarah Jane Adventures.
Oh, love her. Loved. I grew up watching Sarah Jane Adventures. Oh my goodness. The Wedding of Sarah Jane Smith. Oh, amazing. I loved it. And Luke, and it worked when she had loads of companions for some reason. I don't know why, but it worked for her. She was just epic, and I loved her, and I loved seeing her with when I watched back Classic Who, and I saw her as a young girl. You could, oh my god, I love her so much because you just really saw her progress, right?
There's something about it. I know. I'm really intrigued about it because you came in and knew who. You obviously saw School Reunion when you saw this Sarah Jane Smith meet David Tennant. And I wonder if that registered with you. But then when you got and saw Sarah when she was younger, I mean, she's our favorite companion. I mean, oh my God, Sarah and Harry, you know, and you think, God, she really acted her sock. I knew they all did. I thought Leela acted her socks off. There was some really good ones, but to see her older and then younger and then in that little car and all these
Loved it.
adventures. So were you racing home from school and, you know,
Watching Sarah Jane Smith Adventures? Hell yes. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. I was watching every episode without fail. Oh, do you know what? I know it was aimed at kids, but I would rewatch that to this day. I loved Sarah Jane Smith. She was just awesome. I loved the episode where there's a Mona Lisa painting, and the Mona Lisa comes out of the painting, and all of these paintings come to life. And I remember as a kid hiding behind the sofa, like, oh my gosh. And then Sarah Jane Smith comes in, and she's got K9, and K9 is so cute. And childhood magic for me. And I loved seeing David Tennant come into Sarah Jane Adventures, and Matt Smith as well, right? We saw Matt Smith with Sarah Jane.
Yeah.
We never saw the Doctor with Torchwood, but that's because Torchwood was just like crazy dark. I don't think they wanted. Yeah.
She always did that thing with Luke, didn't she? And then, but she met the Brigadier again.
Yes, she did, and that was so not it. I didn't understand when I first watched it, but then when I watched Classic Who, I appreciated, of course, and I loved her sonic lipstick because I thought it was a great way to make it girly and appeal to women. So I watched it, and I was like, I would love to be Sarah Jane Smith. You know, we don't need to want to be the Doctor as women. We can want to be Sarah Jane Smith because she's cool. She's got sonic lipstick. You know, here's my lipstick. What, you know, I want it to be sonic too.
Actually, I mean, I have to say the Sarah Jane story, the way they did it was quite empowering in the way that she's not married. She hasn't got kids. Do you know what I mean? The whole setup was really interesting. It wasn't the usual stereotype, was it?
Definitely not. And I liked that. You don't need to have women have conventional roles when you say you don't want it to be just stupid and woke or whatever, because this is a real life woman. You could find a woman living this real life anywhere as you walk down the street. It was realistic, and I think that's what people like. People want to connect with a realistic story, and that was the magic of Sarah Jane Smith.
Was it weird? I'm just trying to imagine, right? Because you know you're at school and then Sarah. I mean, magic. What a time! Doctor Who's on Saturdays. Sarah Jane's on midweek. It's like whoa! Did you get the magazine as well?
Yeah, of course I did. Of course I did. I was Doctor Who obsessed, and there was always so much content, you know. And then Torchwood obviously came out, and I wasn't allowed to watch that either. But did I watch it? Hell yes.
Well, I mean, so this is a bit like kids all watching Stranger Things when they're not supposed to. It's like the step up, isn't it? And I think the BBC have forgotten that's the point. Mind you, can you imagine now, right? Say you're about 8 or 9 now, and I dare say you were always savvy with phones. So, you know, you can now stream at midnight. Remember, Doctor Who was streaming at any time of day. Parents can't actually do that control thing that they used to. So you can imagine kids now watching Dark Doctor Who at midnight in bed.
Yeah, I was able to work around that stuff when I was a kid too, to be honest. So, you know, that was when I would be watching it because, you know, everyone else would be sleeping and I would be the only one awake, and I would be watching it at silly hour o'clock. So yeah, I was able to work my way around it back then.
This is it. I was ahead of you at the end, you know, Chess, and so I heard all these stories of my daughter, my son. I think they go up to their bedroom and they do this. Oh yeah, no, they do lots of things in that. trouble. So here we go. Torchwood. I watched it. It wasn't Doctor Who, and I'm a funny one. It has to be pure Doctor Who for me. I need the Doctor.
I agree. I like Captain Jack Harkness, right? And I do feel like they kind of change his character a little bit for him to sort of step into that doctor role a bit, which but then they do make him, I don't know, I do think it works. I wanted the Doctor to appear though. I
Yeah.
wanted the Doctor to appear. But who was it, Russell T Davies or Stephen Moffat, who said the Doctor can't appear because it will bring the kids to Torchwood? But they were going to watch it anyway. You know, I was watching, I didn't care.
Yeah.
I was just watching anything that was part of the Doctor Who universe. I did not care. So I wanted the Doctor to appear. I mean, we did see Martha Jones appear, didn't we? Martha Jones came into Torchwood, and when that happened, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Yeah, that was great fan service, and I liked the storyline with is his name on the left there, Owen?
Yes.
And he becomes immortal, and his ending actually is really sad. And all of the characters, actually, I got really attached to all of them. So when Torchwood ended, I was devastated, actually. But I do agree that the Doctor could and should have appeared. And also for the Children of the Earth, we only actually saw Gwen and Jack Harkness come back because obviously I think everyone else had died. So
Yeah.
the last two members of Torchwood were standing. But yeah, it would have been quite nice for Doctor to appear in that series because that was probably the best Torchwood series produced.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, everything. We were so lucky at one point, weren't we? There was Torchwood, Sarah Jane. There was this Love and Monsters. I didn't watch that, but there was loads of different stuff going on. There was another magazine and stuff, wasn't there? There was loads, all those character options, everything kicking off in those noughties, you could say. I think it was our luckiest time with Doctor Who, actually, peak.
It was actually peak Doctor Who for me as well. And it's just been on a steady decline since. Look, I've got a lot of mates in politics who are into Doctor Who as well. Funnily enough, I guess we attract the same sort of crowd, right? And yeah, my partner at the time, he also didn't like how woke it got after Jodie started. And my partner's mate, who's also in politics, he is also massively into Doctor Who, and he again didn't like the woke episodes. But I remember we all would slag off Doctor Who and then we'd watch every single episode anyway.
Yeah, well, I was shouting at Space Babies, but I was still watching it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, hello.
Exactly.
Devil's Cod going, you're breaking the fourth wall, you swine, and still watching it.
Still watching it, yeah. You
I know.
could not, there's nothing that could be done for me to be turned off. That's the beauty of Doctor Who. We've got such a loyal fan base. You know, we will be hating it and we'll be like, oh, this is rubbish. You know, you guys suck. And we're still sat there every week watching every episode.
There's something about it. She's even talking to an old man like me with a cardboard Mondasian Cyberman. So there you go. So will this make you possibly come back on, Jess?
Yes,
talk
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. I would love to come back. I've really enjoyed this chat. It's been a great, great, great evening.
Brilliant. Well, it's Doctor Who, isn't it? It's the passion. So thank you very much for coming on, and hopefully we will do it again. I know you enjoyed the videos. I'll tell the lads.
Yes, please.
When the time is right.